Hey everyone, it's Ashley, and I'm bringing you a video today that I don't normally share on this channel. But I had a couple requests over my last scent reviews that I went live on YouTube. And one of the people that commented said that they would really like to see me make a candle based on one of the ones that are reviewed. So if you haven't checked out that video, Candle Science sent me their fall and winter 2021 scents. And I absolutely positively fell in love with smoked oud. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me. Like I said, I don't normally do these types of videos. I really like to stick in my lane of marketing and business as it pertains to my launch of Upside Goods, which is a candle business. And I'm really testing a lot of fall and winter scents right now. So not only am I testing the smoked oud that I fell in love with, I'm testing a handful of other ones in different sizes and variations to add to my line. So I'm gonna take you guys along with the process that I take for this and that I kind of do step by step. It's by no means official. It's by no means like a tell-all booklet of how to do this. It's just the way that I do it. So if you disagree with some of the things that I do, that's totally fair. And if you agree or can empathize with some of the things that I do that I might, share that drive me mad, then, leave comments below. But if you're new to my channel, my name is Ashley and I am a serial entrepreneur. And I created this channel because in December of 2021, I officially launched a product-based business called Upside Goods, which is predominantly candles. I make them here in my kitchen. This is my unofficial studio. And I've been taking you guys along with me on this journey because my background before launching this, and still to this day, is I work as a freelance marketer for small businesses and entrepreneurs, as well as I run a mobile yoga studio here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I'm based. So if you're interested in either of those, check them out. But if you're here for candles or making these products similar to mine, then stay tuned because it's gonna be a little different today. The lighting's probably gonna be atrocious. Your girl has already poured about 200 plus candles today. It's about 5 in the afternoon on a Monday, so I'm really going in deep on this one. I'm like double headering it after 5, Monday, bad lighting. Just stick with me, guys. Hopefully it's good. So I wanted to show you guys here, besides the coffee pot and drinks that I have, this is my lineup of candles that I'm going to be testing today. So as most of you may know by now, I use the wooden wick auras. I recycle as many that I can. So these have all been previous testers before, just to try and keep my bottom line and margins all right with my testing. This one is a scent that I had last year. It's pumpkin chai. I call it pumpkin chai latte because that's what it smells like to me. I only had it in a unique size, so I'm bringing it back this time in one of our tins. So I need to test that out. Every other scent here is what I'm testing just either for fall or winter, or just a scent that I really like that I want to kind of have in my lineup to see if it burns well. So the way that I do testing is, since I'm familiar with the Aura Vessel and how it performs, most of my candles, and do not hold me to this, everybody is different, every wax is different, every fragrance oil is different, but I use wooden wicks. I usually pour them around like 10 to 11 ounces, just so it gets somewhat up towards the top, but I'm not also like wasting wax, which is kind of painful in this process because you just unfortunately have to use some product to find out the end result. But so I pour them, and I pour them at all the temperatures that I work at, which I'll talk about in a minute. And most of the wicks that I use for the auras are 0.03, 0.625 crackling booster wicks, which is really important to know. It's the size that's suggested for the aura diameter and for coconut soy wax, which is what I use. I use EC26, no dupes. I wanted to share that with you guys, and when I've cured it for 2 weeks, then I'll pull it out. I have a little Excel sheet that I keep track of, and I'll start to burn it for about an hour or two, unless the flame is just absolutely insane and I know it's not going to work. I keep notes on them. I set a timer. I keep track of all the time that I'm devoting to these testers, and then I can usually gauge, okay, is the wick fine? Do I keep going so that I can find it like a half burn, see how it's performing, and then a lower burn, because obviously we know the lower that it goes, the hotter that it gets, because the flame is captured, surrounded. I don't know. It's not an open flame. Like, it doesn't have you get what I mean. I'm not gonna go into details. But usually what happens is if the flame's going fine, fine. If it's not, it's usually because I have to wick down. So what I will do is I will actually extinguish the flame, let it completely solidify again, and then I will wiggle out, show you, get these lovely pliers, heavy duty, not needed. But I will pull the wick out. I'll like wiggle it a little bit and pull it out. It is a softer wax, so I have an advantage there. And then what I will do is I will strip the booster off of the wooden wick, and then that will just make it a flat wick, which is what wooden wick also sells. That was a lot of the same words, but hopefully you could catch up with what I am saying. So 9 times out of 10, I'm usually in the width arena, and I just have to remove the booster is what I'm finding. Now, if it's really still out of control, then what I'll do is remove the wick again, and then I'll place a 0.02, 0.625 booster wick in there. It's a little bit thinner, doesn't get quite as hot, and then I'll work down from there. But usually the flat wick does the trick if the booster is just too much for that fragrance oil and fragrance load. And what I test all of my fragrances at is a 9%. Again, this is just what I find works for me and the temperatures that I work with. Everybody has a different school of thought. Some can go lower, some can go higher. I've usually found that I don't need to go anywhere above 9% with the temperatures that I'm working with. So let's go to the next part. All right, guys, so it's a little bit darker here, so please bear with me. But I'm going to be pouring the smoked oud today. Again, I'm going to do 10 ounces just as a tester and see how it goes. Because usually when I pour the 10 ounces, it usually cools off pretty quickly. So I will just go ahead and add the fragrance oil amount into the vessel. Sometimes I pre-measure them out when I'm doing like actual batches of candles. I'll definitely pre-measure the fragrance oil out. But in this case, I only have 1 ounce to work with, so kind of can't mess it up. I'm gonna do it at 9%, and I have this cute little pouring pitcher. I use the 15 quart something Presto pots. I will link them in this video just so you guys know. I swear by these things. They have been wonderful. I know you guys have asked me, like maybe 2 people, so not a lot. But if I'm going to get the wooden wick one, the melter that they just released, and honestly, while it's beautiful and I'm sure it is great and high quality, these really get the job done for me, and I haven't led astray at all. So I will link these. I originally got them off of Etsy, and I haven't been able to find them directly, but I found something very similar on Amazon. So, but you know, just go and look what you're finding. Look for what you're finding on Etsy or Amazon. I'll give you an idea. But these really get the job done for me. Just a little bit of context. I usually pour the Aura vessels. I usually do 1 batch of 5 candles at 12 ounces. So I can fill 60 ounces in this pouring pitcher. You can get these off Amazon. Everywhere has them. So I'll link them below. I'll pour 60 ounces into this. If it's 9% fragrance oil, I'll pour 5.4% or 0.4 ounces of fragrance oil, and then this will make 5 full auras for me. It'll also make 12 wooden wick tins for me. Same fragrance load. So just a little bit of context there. But if I'm filling this all the way up to the top for coconut soy wax, it takes about 2.5 slabs of wax that I can fill this up with. I think that's right. No, 4.5. No, 2.5. 2.5 5-pound slabs. Long day. I can fit into this. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to melt all the way down. I usually crank it to about 250, and then the wax, I'll stop it and turn it down once it's getting to about 210. So I usually melt my wax between 210, sometimes 220 because shit gets really busy, and then I can get about 3 pitchers full of these. So I can pour about 15 candles, give or take, with one of these bad boys, which are really it works for me. That's why I got a second one, so I could even be more efficient. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour it. I know this is kind of like a bad angle, so let me try and get you an action shot and my midriff. As you can see, I've got boxes and just stuff everywhere, but I'm going to pour 10 ounces. I also will link my scales below. I really like them. So I'm gonna pour a little bit back. And 10 ounces is really not that much. And then we play this like fun little like back and forth game for a while. Woo! Right on the nose. Don't mean to brag. So I have my thermometer here. Like I said, it's probably going to be pretty hot because this has been sitting here for a while. Yeah, so I'm well over 200. I'm actually going to pour another one while you guys are here with me. This one's ready to go. Does anybody else just have to like smell check? I find that I don't have a studio space, so I don't have like that beautiful like Pinterest board, pegboard of like pictures that are designated to a scent at all times. That's going to be goals for me. So, not there yet. Right on the nose. So I'm going to let this cool for a second, get it down to about 185. That is the temperature that I usually mix my fragrance oil in. I know everybody has a different school of thought for this, especially with their different waxes, but this one works for me, especially for some of the natural fragrances that I use, like Palo Santo and creamy vanilla and coconut. Those need to just be poured at lower temperatures so that it doesn't, in my mind, burned off. If that is not a scientific fact, I don't know. That's not what this channel is about, though. So let me just pop in here and tell you guys that I also pre-wicked all of these, clipped them and stickered them. I get these low wick clips off of Etsy. They're about 9 cents each. I order a gajillion of them, and they always send me extras, which is really kind of them. The wick stickers that I have, I will link them below as well. I get them on Amazon. I think that they're around the same price, if not less. And Amazon ships them to me super quick. I get about 240 at a time, and I just roll through those, especially on days like today when I poured well over 200 candles and I'm tired. So I'm just going to check the temperature one more time. I brought another scale over here. It should be dropping pretty quickly just because it is a little amount of wax. It's not a ton. I'm still at 190, so I'm going to give that one a couple of moments. And then I'm going to add the exact percentage of smoked oud, which if you haven't watched that candle science video yet, oh, it just smells so good. It's like a campfire. It's like masculine. It's like fall, tobacco, all the things. Here's the best part. I don't know what oud is, so I'm just going with it. Check her again. My meat thermometer. I have had people ask, because I had an Amazon like best things that you can get on Amazon as a candle maker, and there was a video on there where I shared about the digital thermometers. I just always find that they're vastly different than this one, and this is where I made my starting lineup of candles, judging by its temperature. So I've already replaced the battery in this thing. It's been stuck in a lot of hot wax for, 3/4 of a year now, and it hasn't failed me yet. So fingers crossed that doesn't change. I also wanted to tell you guys that I use wooden spoons for my stirring and mixing. I use the same one each time. Do as I say, not as I do. I cannot even tell you what this smells like besides the last one that I used, which is blood orange. I have a hot water spout, so that's really nice because I'm able to just keep a bucket under there and then just like drizzle the hot wax off of it and then kind of like restart. But I wanted to tell you guys about this like not so glamorous piece of equipment that I use, but I just got it. It's a spoon rest, a silicone spoon rest. And it, like, I don't even know, it's something that I wish I had gotten like when I started, because there's always like drips of wax everywhere when I set the spoon down, because I'm on a mad dash to go and pour the candle while the temperature is still somewhat intact. And so you can see this is all of the wax that I've collected from it today. But honestly, it's like, it's so nice. And then I just pop whatever extra wax in my melter, because reduce, reuse, recycle. So let's check on this. I will link that below as well, because it's what we do here. And we might be about ready to go. Awesome. We're at about 182, so this is perfect. I'm going to drop this in here. It kind of like looks like it like crystallized in there. Oh, I just need to just stir it. I know I have quite a lineup, but I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a yellow sticker on this so that I know which one it is, because they're all going to go into a little quarantine for 14 days. Guys, this is smoked oud. Oh. I really hope you guys like it as much as I do, otherwise that's gonna be weird when you're... All right, I usually, for bigger batches, I will stir for about a minute. I also usually wear my mask, but that would be a really weird YouTube video for me to talk through. Of course, I will link it below, but I highly encourage you guys to always wear a mask because after so many hours in the day of this stuff and these scents, it's a bit too much. Good to the last drop. Gonna make sure my wick is pretty good. Also, what I've been doing is usually I use a rubber band to center my wick tools because I'm balling on a budget. But what I've usually been doing lately is that as it starts to solidify around the top, I'll go around and just kind of like wiggle them a bit. And you can't even tell, quite honestly, unless they were like way off. But it's been really, really nice and efficient with time. I'm gonna buzz through doing the rest of these and I'll check back with you guys here in a little bit.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know a single thing that I haven't done.
All right, guys, so I poured everything and I'm gonna let them sit here overnight just to completely cure. And then I will store them with all of the other candles for the next 2 weeks until they are ready to be tested. So if you guys have any questions about any of this, this was the best way that I could incorporate you in how to make a candle with me. Hopefully you found some good tips and tricks. And if there's something that you do differently that you think maybe I could benefit from, please, please, by all means, share. I made 8 testers, and it took me about probably 15 minutes start to finish, but that does not include cleanup, everyone's favorite. So one day I'll have the pegboard with all of the pictures that I can just leave up and not wash out, but that is not today. So thank you guys so much as always for watching. If you're interested in more videos like this, you guys have the driver's seat. So leave any information down below in the comments of what you'd like to see on this channel. And please check out some of the other content that I've shared with you guys throughout this 2020 crazy year. 2021, actually. Yeah, I still don't know what I'm talking about. It's now like late at night and I need to go to bed. So if you guys are at all interested in joining the Candle Collective, there's links below. If you're interested in one-on-one mentorship, what I call the 30 for 30, $30 for 30 minutes. And we can talk about literally anything that might be keeping you up at night. Stress about launching, stress about testing, stress about how to market your business, anything like that. It can be candles, it can be anything else. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.